Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Usual Place. From stepped-up enforcement to enhanced penalties and the use of K-pods, vaping has dominated the headlines over the last couple of months. But the reality is that quitting can be a struggle, and perhaps for some, the risk just hasn't felt real yet. Now that was the case for Muhammad Dandiar Rosli. He started vaping in 2020 to save money and quit smoking. But it has become a very expensive habit that landed him in the hospital twice, fighting for his life and spending $40,000 from his Medisave. Now, Dandiar is here today to share his story and what he wants to tell those who have yet to quit. Hi, Dandiar. Welcome to The Usual Place. How have you been?
Hi, Natasha. So far, I'm doing really well right now.
All right. So I want to start with your story. When did you first start vaping and what made you try it?
Started back vaping back in April 2020. It was during COVID period. Yeah, so I started vaping because I wanted to save cash because it was COVID period and I was unemployed during that time, during that period, and it was the lockdown, right? So I had little jobs, no jobs, no pay. So I thought vaping was a really good way for me to save a few extra bucks, a few $100 for my wedding. Because my wedding was in June, so I was rushing to save cash. Then I bought vapes in bunch loads to save up so I don't smoke. Because smoking is so expensive back then. I was spending $450 plus or $400
A month?
Yeah, a month.
Oh.
Yeah, it's $12 a pack, 14 and almost 30 packs a day. Almost 30 packs a week. Hey, 30 packs a month. Sorry. That was the vape.
How did you hear about vaping though?
Oh,
Was it people in your circle doing it?
social media and people doing it around me. Yeah, I wasn't influenced by the vaping actually. I was influenced by the amount of money that I can save. Back then because I was unemployed. I was back then we get the assurance package, the 3,000, right? So I thought it was a good way to save some cash by vaping and hopefully also to quit smoking. But I ended up smoking and vaping both at the same time.
So how much do you save on
nothing.
the vapes? Nothing? Because you were buying so many, is it? And then...
Yeah, because I was buying vapes in bundles, right? Yeah, because there's so many flavors. It tastes really good. So I thought I have to try each one of it. And I keep a supply of it in my wardrobe. So I will never run out of it.
So in the end, you didn't really save money buying vapes?
I didn't calculate.
Okay. But it didn't go so well because after a month after you started vaping, you ended up in the hospital, right?
Oh.
So tell me about that.
It didn't take long actually because I was vaping for 2 months plus up to June plus. I had symptoms like shortness of breath in between June and July of 2020, and I had when I wake up I had green color phlegms and I couldn't breathe. Yeah.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was COVID actually. Yeah, because I had flu-like symptoms also back then, and I was I was out and then meeting people also during that period, right? So I assume it's just some flu because my fever was on and off, and I had flu-like symptoms, and then plus the yellowish green phlegm in the morning, right, and shortness of breath. So when I went to check, I went to CGH to check what's wrong with my breath Then after that, I remember there's this oximeter when during the COVID. Yeah, I went to use that to check what happened to me Then my oxygen was SPO level was really low. It was hovering around 85, 87 during my first visit.
The normal is
normal is 99.
Okay, so that's a lot lower than what is normal.
I was giddy and I was having flu. So I went to Changi Hospital A&E to get a check. That's when they had to go through the isolation stage. You know, right?
Because it was COVID and everything. There were so many.
They assume I had COVID. So during that period of time, I have to be isolated for 3 days, and they did. You have to wait for the actual result for the COVID test, and it was negative.
And so you were
said,
what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's not COVID, but the doctor did offer to do a bronchoscopy. So this is a procedure where they look into your lungs and airways, right, with a small camera.
Yeah.
But you actually said no to it the first time you went to A&E.
Yeah, that was the incident when I went to the A&E when I had to be isolated, and then plus my oxygen level was too low. They had to put me in HD, high dependency ward. That's when they told me, hey, we couldn't get your diagnosis. Actually, you don't have COVID, and there's no sign of you having like any kind of symptoms or flu-like symptoms. I say, then what's gonna happen? She, I think we need to do a bronchoscope. I said, why bronchoscope? I was like paranoid because they told me the whole process, right? I have to be put into sleep. Like, I have to like sedate me and then tube me. I was like paranoid. Like, hey, couldn't this like heal itself? Because I don't know. I was like from vaping or.
Yeah. Did you think it was from the vape? So, because how often were you vaping at that time?
You want me to be honest?
Yes. Please, be honest on the show. Yes.
Okay, I'll be like interchangeably because the vape is like odorless but it tastes good, right? Because of the flavors and the feel. And then like I had my cigarette and my vape like all day every day. If I don't smoke, like I just take puffs. Just sit down and zone out.
Oh, so it was constant. So it was either cigarettes or it was either vapes.
Or eating.
Okay, so when you go to the hospital, then did you not think it was the vapes or the cigarettes that caused you?
Nah, because the doctor cannot diagnose me. Like, didn't have any diagnosis on the situation of my symptoms, and then they say they check X-ray. There's like something's wrong with your lungs, but because the procedure I have to put into sedation, and I was like a bit paranoid. I'm a bit worried. I was like, okay. I didn't know it was like due to vaping in the first place, right? Then I said, can you just discharge me and we see like in 1 week time if things get worse or something.
But it didn't get better, right?
It didn't. I had to rush through the following week.
So you 1 week later you went back to the hospital?
Yeah, again less than a week actually. Once they discharged me, then like a couple of days, because I'm back right at home. What else I do? I vape again and smoke.
Okay.
Yeah, and the symptoms it got worse. Yeah.
So you went back to the hospital the second time now.
That one was like the rushing part. At that point of time, I thought I was gonna die already on bed.
Oh, it was that bad?
Oh yeah, I was like I was like couldn't breathe like really. I was like, hey, dear. I told my wife, hey dear, I think I'm gonna die. Yeah, what? Yeah, I cannot breathe. I think I might die. Then she took the oximeter. And then I was like, it was 75 my oxygen level. I was like, oh my god. Then we said, hey, just call Gojek. I don't want to pay $400.
For the ambulance.
Yeah.
So when you went back to the hospital, you were actually diagnosed with this thing called PAP, right?
Yeah,
so it's
correct.
a pulmonary alveolar proteinosis. Mm-hmm. And so basically it's when protein and fatty material build up in the air sacs of the lung. Correct. And it makes breathing difficult, which is what you were experiencing.
Yeah, like drowning.
I found out it's quite a rare disease, right? How did you feel about that diagnosis when you heard it? Because that you could have respiratory failure or even further infections from it. Like, what was that feeling like when the doctor told you, oh, you have this rare thing?
Actually, when they had the diagnosis, I don't have any memory of them talking to me or anything. Because the second trip to the hospital, I was rushed to CGH. Then I was unconscious actually for like a couple of days. Like I went in Saturday, Sunday I woke up, it was like Monday, then Sunday I woke up again, it was like Tuesday. Yeah, then they had to do the bronchoscopy to sedate me, right? So I was like intubated also, I couldn't speak. I was like tied down to the bed. I have no recollection of the whole memory actually.
Oh, so they were talking to your wife?
Yeah, they were talking to my wife.
Okay.
Because I was like from CGH, like A&E, I was like jumping suddenly into ICU. Then I woke up, I was in ambulance because they have to wake me up just to check my conscious level, right? Because before they transport me to SGH for the surgery, the emergency surgery. So I was unaware of and then suddenly I woke up, where am I?
But what were you feeling like? Because you said that when right before you went to hospital, you felt like you couldn't breathe. Like, what was that feeling like? Was it like drowning or like constant?
I think because it was too painful, I had to shut down myself. So I fell asleep, or I think I shut.
Okay, like you just like stopped.
Stop. Because I don't remember anything actually, to be honest with you, because I couldn't breathe already, and then like I was like on oxygen, I was intubated, sedated, and like I think the pain just like I tried to avoid the pain as much.
So try to block it out from your mind.
Yeah. Because it was too painful actually. I think because I couldn't breathe, right? Yeah, and I thought I was gonna die also. Like everything's like going there.
Were you worried?
Yeah.
About what happens next?
I was like thinking, shit, this must be the vape.
Oh no! Was that the regret coming in, setting in?
Yeah, actually, because I thought I was gonna die. Like, really, because I was in ICU. Like I was healthy like a couple of weeks ago. Then I was like in ICU. I couldn't do anything, like literally anything, for like how many days? I was like 17 days in there. Yeah, straight from the A&E. I was like intubated, no food, no nothing. And like I was on IV, I couldn't speak, I couldn't respond. I was just lying there. Yeah, I really, really thought I was going to die.
So they moved you from CGH to SGH, right?
Yeah, to get the lavage.
Yeah, so this lavage thing is what I wanted to ask you, because basically it's like washing out your lungs, right? To remove the protein buildup and everything. What was that like? Because they put a tube inside. Okay, so you were sedated.
According to the doctors, what they did was like they had to put a tube through, and like they had to clean like one lung at a time. Yeah, so they had to pour saline into the lungs and shake my body, so it was like loosen up the protein. And they had to put me on a belt, and then the physio will like beat me up, like beat my lungs up to loosen up the protein, and then they will suction it out. Yeah,
and they got to keep doing it until the liquid is clear, is it?
Yeah, the protein until one of the protein is clear from one of the lungs.
And then they do the other lung.
They had to do like one lung at a time actually.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise I would die because how else am I gonna breathe, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
what was that feeling like? Can you feel it when they do it?
When they do it, I didn't feel anything but right after the surgery, felt like I got hit by a bus because I was like lying in bed for way too long, and then they had to beat me up, and then like when they removed the tube, the first one they asked me, how do you feel? I was like, how do I feel? I was like, my God, I couldn't move. It was like my whole body was aching. I said, how come I feel like I got hit by a bus? Then the physio told me, the doctor said, actually during the procedure we had to really hit you because we had to loosen up the lungs, and then we put you on a belt and we had to roll you around. No wonder it was so painful.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did your lungs feel? Like, did it hurt? Because they did a whole procedure and everything to it.
The feeling, yeah. For the first lung after they did the lavage, because can feel a bit lighter on my lungs lah. Yeah, but the other one was a bit heavy and I couldn't like breathe properly. There's a weight to it. Like one side is a bit lighter than the other one.
Did you feel better after the first one though?
After the first one, I felt so much better. I felt like I can breathe properly again, all over again. Yeah, that was just the first lavage. I felt so much better.
What was your wife like during, what was her reaction to the whole diagnosis and then you going through this, because you were in ICU for a very long time?
I was lucky I couldn't talk.
You can only listen. She's like scolding you.
From the reaction, from her face, I know like she's a bit upset, a bit sad, and just hoping for the best for myself.
So they diagnosed you as having this because of vaping, right?
Because I couldn't respond because I was intubated, and they asked me questions when I went into the ICU. When they asked me questions, I couldn't respond because I was intubated. I just had to just nod, or I couldn't even type. I couldn't do anything. No way of communicating. They were just asking me, "You smoke?" I couldn't respond.
So did your wife scold you about the vaping?
My wife told everything, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, probably lah. But we know the history of I smoke and what, right? Yeah. So and the doctors also need to diagnose me quickly. So yeah, they need to know what's the reason behind this. So yeah, everyone has to come out clean lah. Yeah. At the moment. During that moment in time, vaping wasn't an offense, so you can just be straight up, just tell the doctor, so they can quickly identify the problem.
Yeah. Well, technically they did ban it in 2018, but it was people they had people coming in for these things, is it?
According to the doctors, they said no lah. No one ever came up and told them they vape or this is the cause of the vapes or anything lah. Yeah, no one ever come up clean to them lah.
Okay,
yeah,
but you had no choice.
I had no choice. I was gonna die already. So yeah, so I have to come clean because they have to diagnose me quickly because I was going to go into emergency surgery already. So the best course of action is for me to just come up clean lah. Just tell my wife. My wife will tell the doctors so they know what to do, right? Yeah, because I don't want to die at that point of time also. Yeah.
Okay, so then you leave the hospital. How long were you in the hospital for after this lung lavage?
That was 2 months. Went in July. I came out September actually.
Wow.
Yeah, the first one. That was the first one. The first 2 lung lavage treatment. Yeah, since I think 16, 15 July, I came out first week of September.
Wow.
That was the amount of time I spent there. So
And you were just in
bed.
You were just in bed. Were you in ICU all the way or not? You were moved.
from the CGH portion up to SGH. The first surgery, I was like in ICU because after the surgery, they had to monitor me much more closely, right? So I had to be on tubes, and then they had to really monitor my breathing and my oxygen meter. So then I spent like 4 or 5 days on general ward just to monitor before I go into ICU again to do the next lavage.
So it takes a couple of days in between to
because,
do the second lung.
You have to monitor my recovery during that 1 week after my first lavage. So after the first lavage, I had to stay in ICU for like 2-3 days and monitor. Then I was transferred to HD ward, then down to general ward again, and then back to ICU again. Yeah.
So after that whole thing, you leave the hospital. What was your frame of mind about vaping?
What's more?
The first time you left.
The first time, yeah.
Yeah. So were you like, oh, I'm never going back to vaping?
I was curious. Was it the vape? So I vape again.
You were curious about what would happen, is it? If you vape again?
Yeah, true. And then like I went to remission.
Why were you curious about vaping?
I don't know, it's just my personality, I think. Yeah, I just want to find out, is it this or that? Or is it just like, because they say it's an autoimmune disease for the PAP, right? Pulmonary alveolar proteinosis. So is it my body itself like causing it, or is it like,
So you weren't like put off the vapes, like you wanted to eliminate the chance.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, then I didn't go hard on it because I was like still recovering, right? Yeah, and then I tried a bit, and then tried smoking a bit, and then like because I was discharged September, right? Then I went for the follow up in November. And then the doctor said, hey, there's still so much protein in your lung. I was like, we have to go through another lavage.
But so after you leave the hospital for the first time,
September
after the lung lavage, and then you start vaping, how often were you doing it then?
It was less because I couldn't breathe properly also. I was like, my lungs was recovering. I couldn't walk properly also after the discharge because I had to spend so much time in bed, right? Like almost 2 months. I didn't walk, I didn't do much activities, right? And I was like in pain because there's no medication to treat the whole lavage. Because when I was discharged, I didn't get any medication. They say it will heal naturally. Yeah, and then like I wasn't working also. I was like just sit at home after my meals. I just vape.
You didn't throw out. Your wife didn't throw out all the stash. Your stash.
Yeah, because my stash, I had like a lot of stash.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a waste, right? I had like whole wardrobe of it.
So you were just like, okay, let me finish it.
I just try lah. Okay. Because I wasn't doing anything also after my discharge, right? Yeah, because I was still on MC. Yeah.
Did your wife know that you were doing this?
No, this one during this point she didn't know. Yeah.
So how did you hide it from her or from
because
people around
it's
you?
because it doesn't smell. So my house has like few rooms where I can be alone. Yeah, I have my own space for me to like do my stuff. Yeah, that's where I do the deed.
So you went back for a checkup, right, in November?
Yeah.
And then the doctor says there's still like this protein build up in your lungs.
Yeah.
What was it like hearing that?
I tried to act surprised, but also I was afraid. And my wife was like really upset because we were in the same doctor's room. It was the professor who did the treatment also. When he said that like, hey, looking at your X-ray, there's more proteins in there. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, I was like, why did I do it?
But did you feel sick like the first time?
It wasn't that bad lah. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as the first one. That was like the moment, like, oh my god, and my wife was like so upset. The look at her face, like, because the doctor.
Okay, so she had no clue at all that you were vaping.
Sort of lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for her, it was a real surprise.
Yeah, for the second one,
to hear that this has returned in a way.
Correct. Yeah, for the second time lah.
Then how? Then so the doctor did tell you have to do the
they had to go through
again.
The lavage all over again. I was like, oh my god, I have to prepare my body again for lavage. So, and after that November 2020 medical appointment checkup, right? So they already set an appointment for my next surgery. Yeah, for 2 more surgery. Was in January.
Could you say no?
What if I die? I couldn't say no. So because if
you had stopped vaping at that point, if you had like
Yeah lah, I should, right?
No, so
Back
after
then,
they
by
give
the
you the
point, I think
diagnosis, and
I
then
should,
if you had stopped vaping, would
You're making me nervous.
sorry. Okay, but so you did the second round of
The
lung
lava-
lavage.
Oh yeah.
What was that feeling like?
Oh, that was worse because the guilt of vaping again. Yeah, and then like I had to go through the same consequences again. Yeah, because the surgery wasn't fun. Surgery is not fun because I had to stay another like 1 month plus again. Yeah, because I had to go through the same process all over again. Yeah, I have to like go into the. I had to go
Feel
through
your wife like anger.
Oh yeah, because once we walk into the hospital, I got really nervous because I have to go through the ICU stage again. I had to do the surgery all over again. I had to do it twice. I know the recovery would take so much time, and I couldn't recover as fast because the previous surgery I have not even recovered from the injury, right? Then the second time when I went in for the early January, I think 2nd or 3rd January 2021. I spent like another 6 weeks in hospital again. Yeah.
And you also spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it was about $40,000. Did you pay? You paid any? So some of it was MediSave, or
Yeah,
all
most,
of it was
most
on
of it lah, because emergency surgery, right? Yeah.
Did you have to pay any on your
Actually,
own?
it's more lah, but yeah, just the lavage itself after subsidy per surgery is like 10K.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't
Per
it-
lung. So it's like
Yeah,
four
per-
times. It's like 40K.
Yeah, that's subsidized.
Okay.
Yeah, under subsidies. But you have to remember the amount of time I spent in ICU also. Yeah, because the ICU, the general ward, the treatment, yeah, that doesn't factor in. There was like just the lavage.
So you did have to pay some money on your own, like not from MediSave.
Yeah, and then plus the
Like how much was it? Do you remember?
A lot. Because I used my wife medicine also.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a combined thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
because my medicine wasn't like that much to cover most of it. Yeah.
So thinking about the money you spent,
Both burning.
what was going through your mind when you had to like look at the bill?
Now you rub it in, right?
No, I mean because it is quite it is a very big sum of money, and
Right now I'm trying to not think about it.
sorry, bringing
Trying
up
to avoid
memories.
Yeah lah. But during that time, because like it's between life and money, right? So I chose life, and my family chose life instead of money. So the sacrifice they made, the amount of money they made, it was like a huge sum of money. Yeah, for me actually.
So-
I'm gonna sad also.
Yeah. So how did did you have any like rules for yourself after the procedures? Like did you like say, okay, I'm never gonna vape again, kind of thing, or
Yeah,
I'm gonna
because right after the November checkup, I went back home and then I just like threw everything out. Yeah, because like okay, I'm not gonna do it anymore because I had to go through another. So I just prepared myself mentally. Yeah, and the withdrawals and everything I had to go through.
Okay, firstly, how many vapes do you throw out?
I don't know. A lot of plastic bags.
Wow, plastic bags.
Oh, yeah
So
lah,
was
I
it
can
like
afford.
100 over vapes?
No lah, almost like in the 20s, 30s.
Oh, okay, it's
Got
like-
a lot lah also lah.
Okay.
Yeah, a few thousand dollars, I think, or higher. Yeah. I think if I get caught, that one, they think I'll be trafficking.
Okay.
I'm actually personal consumption, or the amount of personal
But you just
consumption.
kept it lah for yourself, and
Yeah,
then,
because it's so cute, you know. You're like, there's so many colors, flavors. Yeah. So just you keep in the drawers, you can see like, oh my.
oh no, it became
It's
your
like candy, you know.
collection.
Yes, correct. You get it right. And then like different ones. It's like candy lah. I was like looking at it. There's different flavors. What I like, so I can just choose.
But then after that, you just threw it out.
Yeah, I have to lah.
And-
Yeah, because of the pain that I had to go through again. Yeah, I had to throw everything out.
So after your second hospitalization and the 4 lung washes that you
yes.
went through, what was your your thoughts about vaping? Yeah.
Oh, I already made up my mind. Really, I'm not gonna touch that thing anymore. Yeah, and also I share my story also lah. Like I have a lot of friends around me also who vape, so I just share with them lah. Hey, this happened to me lah. If you can cut down, just try cut down. If you can quit, try to quit lah.
Did anyone listen to you?
No, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay, but now this year, so this happened to you in 2020, right? And then
2021,
but now this year, vaping is quite a very big thing. And have you seen the videos of like where kids and people get very zombified because
Yeah.
it's not just vaping, it's like now they're doing drug laced vapes like etomidate, right? What goes through your mind when you see videos or read the news about this?
Actually, I feel sad for the kids actually who's doing the atomic vapes actually. Yeah, it could be prevented lah. Yeah, because I think mostly it's because of money, the people selling it to the kids. Yeah, it's really unfortunate lah. Now these teens all addicted to it and like it's all over social media some more. Yeah, and then like a few people died also, right? Yeah, so actually feel angry and like mad also lah to those who's selling it to kids. Like they don't have the consciousness to understand the whole consequences of like vaping just because of money, right? And it's so cheap also for them, and their friends are doing it. Actually, I'm really mad also. Yeah.
What makes it difficult to quit? Because you did say that you went to hospital and then you came out and then you still continued after. This is the first time, right? What was the difficulty in quitting?
I feel like the nicotine addiction actually, yeah, it's really hard. There's withdrawals, that comes with vaping. People don't talk about the withdrawals.
Tell me about it. Like, what does it feel like?
Of course. Okay, when I tried to stop, right, like 2 to 3 weeks, I get anxious, anxiety attacks, because the amount of nicotine that was like smoking on that thing, like really gave me like cold sweats when I'm off it. Yeah, no one actually talk about the amount of like the stress, like when you're not on it, because your body crave the substance, right? You get the cold sweats and then the anxiety in public, all. Yeah, it's really hard to cope. Also, people don't talk about the mental thing. Also, yeah, the withdrawal symptoms, and there's nothing to cope. How do you like go cold turkey on nicotine addiction? Like any addiction is really hard to, it's really hard to deal with. Yeah.
So how did you deal with that withdrawal part? Like, what made you like stay?
I eat a lot of food. Actually, yeah. For me, my coping mechanism was like eating. Yeah, I eat ice cream because my mouth gets busy because I'm so used to like having that thing, like, yeah, and then so I just thought like eating nuts or like eating ice cream. So I just fixed my cravings with sugar craving instead. But still, it's not a good thing lah. But however, it helped me lah during that time. Yeah, just eating.
So this was right before you did the second part. Like you just quit cold turkey, like right after the second.
I had to quit cold turkey. Even with the anxiety, with all the sweats, I just had to deal with it lah because I had to go through the surgery and it was painful and I tried to find a way to cope. It was like sugar craving, so I just change the addiction from like nicotine craving to like eating desserts like nuts or just feeding myself.
So no longer vaping?
No longer vaping right now.
Smoking?
No.
Okay, so you just totally got off all of it.
Correct.
Okay, How do you feel about life now? Because you did come close because you said you didn't want to die, right? Like,
yeah, correct.
How do you feel about where you're at right now?
All right. Actually, right now I'm feeling really, really happy. Actually, after that incident, actually, I had like this existential crisis. Like, what am I doing in my life? Because I spent too much time in the hospital, I was like lying down, right? So, should I be happier? Yeah. Should I be healthier? And thankfully, I was like so much healthier than when I was way back then.
Now you're way healthier.
Yeah. Right now I can run, I can swim, I can bike, I can do physical activities. But even though it took quite long for me to fully recover, right? But my health right now is way better than back then. Not only because I vape but before vaping also I wasn't looking after my health that well. Yeah, that incident really helped me to actually improve.
Is there anything that still affects you from that whole episode?
Yeah, the hospitalisation. Whenever people ask me about the vaping incident, I always get nervous and anxious. Because it's really traumatic for me. Yeah, because the pain I had to go through, I had to deal during the surgery, and the amount of time I spent in hospital, really traumatizing. Yeah, and people also don't ask me or like the withdrawal, the anxiety, the people who supported me through when I tried quitting also, the financial stress all. People don't talk about that also.
Financial stress, what do you mean?
Yeah, you had to go through surgery and I had to go through months of unemployment also. Yeah, it stresses someone.
Yeah, and then you didn't vape, is it? So that was the stressing part.
Yeah, how do I cope? I mean, I was like, if you're unemployed and like had to deal with everyday stress with work. Yeah.
But you did it.
Thankfully this kind of experience.
Okay, so I want to ask you, what would you tell young people who see vaping as harmless or something that they will grow out of?
To all the young people, I just want to share with you guys, if possible, don't even try. Yeah, don't even come close to your friends who's vaping, actually. Because the circle that you are in will definitely influence you to try. Because you definitely be curious. So to all the kids out there, don't even try. Yeah, don't even come close to people who's actually vaping. Don't even ask.
Okay. So then, thank you very much. I know this was a very tough conversation to revisit, but thank you for sharing
Thank you,
your
Natasha.
story. And that's it from The Usual Place today. So if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss the next episode. And if you have thoughts on what we just discussed, do drop a comment on YouTube or talk to me on Instagram at The Usual Place Podcast. I'll see you next week on Thursday at noon.